Well, the Avs against one of the better puck possession teams in the National Hockey League in the Tampa Bay Lightning, the second best penalty kill in the league in the Tampa Bay Lightning. They come into the Mile High City and the Avs leave with a 3-2 victory in front of the Ball Arena faithful. A very good win, solid 60 minutes for the Avs tonight, and they continue to pace the entire National Hockey League. The most points in the NHL. They lead the Central, they lead the West, and they lead the league at 8-1-5 through their first 14 games of the season. As we welcome you guys into Between the Pipes here on Altitude Sports Radio's Twitter and YouTube account. Spring, first game that you and I have done in a couple of them. We were hamming and egging some stuff over the weekend with the back-to-back games, but no overtime here. And outside of the final power play of the game, I thought the Avs power play started to click a little bit today. And you know what? All you got to do apparently with the Avs is face the number one or the number two penalty kill unit in the league, and you'll be just fine.
Well, they needed a power play goal in this game because if they did not get a power play goal, then this game would have gone to overtime. And was there not a part of you late in this game thinking after Braden Point, that was a really nice goal by Braden Point. That was on point from Braden Point. Obviously, the Avs were better. They were the better team tonight. They deserved both points. But was there not a part of you thinking, shit, they're one goal away now from this going to overtime and from us doing this song and dance again? And there was a possibility that the Avs, now that you said 8-1-5, if this game went to overtime, recent history would suggest that they would have left tonight 7-1-6. But no, they got a power play goal. And what was interesting about that power play, about 4 minutes into the first period, and Victor Olofsson scores it, and he was your first star once again, his first star of the game for Colorado here in just a handful of games. Hat trick the other night and 2 goals here tonight, but it's Necas and it's McKinnon on the left side. And I've been critical of this.
Yep.
But here we are. This was game number 14 for Colorado. And nice little 2-man game. Jokic and Murray. Necas and McKinnon. Little 2-man game on the left side. Gets a little spring pass from Necas to McKinnon.
My favorite part about that is not that it's just Nuggets and Avs, but that it's basketball and hockey and Eastern Bloc in Canada in both of the analogies.
That is next level to what happened there. Very well put. And so, hey, it took him, and you kind of saw this a week and a half-ish ago, putting the Nichushkin on, but then Necas and McKinnon kind of starting to figure out how to interact together since they're going to be playing either on the same side or one of them is going to float net front or middle of the ice. And here you see Necas and McKinnon spring each other on a really good little, back to you play. And McKinnon goes low. Good job by Victor Olofsson, who's now your right wing, to recognize that McKinnon he's going net front. I need to go net front as well. Olofsson cleans up the rebound. But really, it's the play between Necas and McKinnon. And 14 games in, it's even a little before this, but here tonight, even more so, starting to figure it out.
They certainly are starting to figure it out. I think they're more dangerous, more consistently. Now, the fourth and final power play I thought was not good at all. There's a couple of times, honestly, Kale, we saw Kale miss the net like 3 times today from grade A scoring opportunities. He ends up hitting the net in the third period, where he walks right down. This is 5-on-5, I think, right after that power play was done, if I'm correct. My timing might be off, where he's like beaver tailing his stick on the ice, screaming for the puck from Nathan McKinnon. He gets it, and I think he takes a little bit off of it, and that's when Vasilevsky kind of holds up the Statue of Liberty, Mike Richter left-hand glove save there, when no one was in front of him. I thought he pimped it just a little bit too much. Kale I need to see Kale take a little bit more ice on the power play when he has the puck in zone. So if I'm going to nitpick a good power play tonight at 1 for 4 against the number 2 unit in the league in Tampa Bay, I will nitpick it there. When Kale gets the puck at the top of the zone, even if it's early, I want to see him skate to pressure and then relieve the puck. What he's doing really well right now is when there's immediate pressure, he relieves the puck to the flanks really well. What I don't think he's taking advantage of is when he gets the puck early in the power play and that penalty kill unit hasn't rotated on him. He doesn't really skate down the seam. He's a good enough shot that he can beat a goaltender from 60 feet out without a screen. Go ahead, do it, man. Walk the middle, and if someone comes to you, relieve pressure with the puck, and you've got a 2-on-1 somewhere else on the ice. You're the best in the world at doing it. Why not do it early? So that's my little nitpick.
We saw, like, I'll start with a positive. Another positive we saw on one of their first 2 power plays. I think it might have been Natchez on the left wing feeding Nichushkin in that bumper area.
Yes.
Nichushkin, I mean, and that's the look you want. It's the look that the Avs have lived on, or a lot of teams live on that, but certainly the Avs as well. And Nichushkin has been a breath of fresh air on this power play.
He has.
So him in the middle is great, and he snapped a really good look, and Vasilevsky made the save. There was nobody net front, though, to screen Vasilevsky. That being said, okay, there's a positive. And you talk about Makar, and I've talked a lot about this power play and what they're doing, and I'll just add just a little extra description to it here. What they're attempting to do, and I know I haven't liked it, but it really kind of dawned on me tonight. What they're attempting to do, their power play formula is like master level in terms of the responsibility they want from their skaters, the movement, the positional occupying, where you have to move, what you have to do, your responsibility for what position you have to take. It's a masterclass. It's a very high level. Now, the formula I have been preaching for, the one that they've run in the past, is much simpler. It just dumbs it down, right? You have to think less. You're here. It's much simpler. Now, if they can learn this formula, it can work at an elite level, but it takes such high hockey IQ from these skaters to know where you need to go and where you need to be. And I think that the next step that they need to figure out is how they can rotate to let Makar work with space at the point.
Yep. I completely agree with you. That is what they're missing. And I think it walks hand in hand with my early on the power play, go skate into pressure. Skate until they pressure you and then relieve the puck. Because what you're essentially talking about is that the power play right now, they're setting it up to give you the A+ look, the grade A+ look, which is like, you can't miss from here look. And I don't hate that, tinkering this early on. When they were 3 of 28 at one point in the season, at that point, you just go, all right, screw the grade A look. Let's just get pucks to the net and hopefully something good happens. What I see them doing right now is they're getting downhill on their rebounds. That's the Olofsson goal, right? They're getting downhill toward the net. And that for me is a mark of really good power plays when you're crashing in on the crease from up top rather than having to react to pucks that are bouncing around your feet or even behind you. This is the 5-man unit that I like right now. Nate's winning enough faceoffs to be the guy taking the majority of the draws there. Olofsson he's back to scoring at the clip that he was doing so in power plays in Buffalo before finding his way to the Vegas Golden Knights. Like, that is who he is. He's going to make a lot of money in the offseason if he continues to do these things. They're not there yet, but you can see the makings of like a top 7, top 5 power play in the league right now.
Yeah,
it's not where it is now, but you can see
you're
see
right.
the writing on the wall.
Yeah, and I'm starting to see that this is a work in progress. This is a commitment to a long-term philosophy that if they can master this thing, it will pay off. But they're learning it. And this is a high level movement power play that and you only integrate such a thing if you have a Kale McCarr, if you have a Nathan McKinnon, if you have a Marty Necas, Nichushkin fits, Olafson fits, they're learning it. And when they learn it and you can see it growing and it's getting there, it's going to be fucking dangerous. And it's going
The
to be the type of power play that you really don't see across the league.
Yeah, I'm hoping that there's a little bit more selfishness with some of the guys not wearing number 29 and 88 out there on the power play. And it's funny to say, like, a defenseman who I think is going to put up 100 points this year in Kale McCarr, like, I want you to be more selfish. How do you put up 100 points without being a little selfish and shooting as much as Kale does? There's a few times where I feel like everybody else on the ice defers for those players, and I see Homopoulos on Twitch is talking about the Blake Como drop pass that Val Nichushkin makes. I believe it was to Marty Necas on the third power play of the game. I was kind of screaming at my television, and then I rewatched it, and I went, "That's the grade A plus look that they're looking for." The grade A look was Nichushkin walking down by himself in a very tight area and just firing a puck on net. I would have been more than okay with him shooting that puck. I think he would have had a great chance to beat Vasilevsky, who honestly, until tonight, has been struggling a lot for Tampa Bay, even though they're a damn good team. The grade A plus look was Nichushkin dropping the puck and then getting to the net front so that Necas can shoot through a couple of bodies and maybe get an opportunity where Vasilevsky doesn't see the shot coming, as compared to Nichushkin walking in unabated. It's again, it's nitpicking, but that's the difference between the grade A shot and the grade A plus shot that I think they're continually trying to set up right now.
Well, and speaking of that, and I noticed this more 5-on-5 tonight. So I want to talk about Gabe Landeskog. And it kind of ties into Olafson's second goal, at least in one of Landeskog's sequences. Okay, so Landeskog, Lightning get up 1-0 in this game. And then Gabe Landeskog decides to fight. Help me with this name. Charles Edward Diastus. I don't know. But either way, let's start with the Landeskog fight, okay? This is a twofold fight. One, so Landeskog, man, who held whose stick?
It was Destu held Landeskog's stick, pushed him against the boards as Landy was driving the right side of the offensive zone. And then they kind of had this little fuck you match back and forth for about 80 to 100.
There was a held
feet.
stick in the neutral zone too.
Yeah.
Either way, okay. This was kind of nothing. This was premeditated. You cannot tell me that this was not premeditated from Gabe Landeskog, who I believe had a premeditated fight in the preseason as well. And what's funny, Raj, is we talked to him before the season started and asked him, you know, if he had intentions to bring some of that fuck you back to the Avs, knowing exactly who this player is, that he is
so very clear,
not afraid to be physical, drop the gloves and fight. And you really do have no problem with Landeskog fighting. He's done his entire career. It's not Nathan McKinnon, who you worry about breaking a hand. Not that we wish injury upon Gabe or anything like that. It's just that Gabe, he's built for it. He's just built for it. This was premeditated, much like I think it was in the preseason. I think that was a tune-up for Gabe. I think Gabe knew, I'm going to do this in the regular season. Let me get my mitts about me here just to see how it feels. Okay, this was, I need to get my team going because we're down 1-0. And even though we're the best team in the NHL, we've left a few points on the board. And we're coming off of a loss in San Jose, even though it was the second day of a back-to-back. And more so than that, this was, I need to get myself going.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's why Gabe fought there. That was, and the broadcast mentioned it. Rob Blake would do this back in the day. This is what this was from Gabe Landeskog. This was, I want to get my team going, but I want to fire myself up because Gabe hasn't scored this year.
Right. And now,
even though he kind of did score, fuck that call.
And now that he's playing third line minutes, right, he now has to, I'm not saying this is in the back of his mind because it's not at all, right? He has to get his money's worth somewhere. The team has to get their money's worth at $7 million from Gabe Landeskog in some way. And if he's not going to be playing second line minutes, which are going to be between 16 and 20 per game in the regular season, if he's not going to be playing power play, which I know he's getting seconds on power play too, but let's be very honest with this. The Colorado Avalanche don't really have a second unit. They have a go out there and you'll be okay for one face-off and go play 5-on-5 unit. It's Nathan McKinnon's unit and then the rest of the guys who go out. If you're not going to get that value that you were paying Gabriel Landeskog for prior to this injury, you have to get it elsewhere. You have to get it in the physicality department. You have to get it defensively. I still think there is an opportunity for him to start killing penalties down the road if he's not going to be getting power play one time. I know they're treating him with a little bit of kid gloves. Obviously, it's early on in the season. We have to worry about him playing for Sweden in the Olympics, and you want him to be on his best game come April, May, and June. That's when it actually matters for him. But I like the fact that he's going out and he's providing value in other areas of the game. He was, and I'm stealing this from someone in the chat. Can't remember who it was. Gabe was noticeable tonight.
He was. First game in a few, and I wanted to start with the fight, and I mentioned Olofsson's second goal. Now, this play is the best player on this play is Olofsson himself. He initiates the forecheck that wins the puck.
Yep.
But it is Gabe Landeskog who gets it on the left wing, and he's alert, he's patient, he reads what's in front of him, and he feeds Jack Drury, who fans on it. And that takes a fortunate bounce to Olofsson, who buries it, but Landeskog gets the secondary assist. And so, okay, he's got a fight, he's got an assist. Saw the tweets out there. Even after the fight, he's on Gordie Howe hat trick watch. Well, here's what I noticed from Gabe the rest of the game. He had some looks.
Couple of backdoor one-time opportunities.
He had some looks to fire some pucks on net coming down the wing, but he opted for the pass. He was not hell-bent on getting himself a Gordie Howe hat trick. He was more concerned about setting his teammates up for better looks. There was one in particular that stands out to me coming down the left wing. Could have taken the easy shot on Vasilevsky, decided to drop it back to Josh Manson for a shot to try to find a rebound or something like that. So I like that from Gabe. He wasn't forcing it. He has not scored yet this season. As I said before I tossed it off to you, he should have fucking scored in that Utah man. What a bullshit offside call.
Yeah, it was a tough call. It was the San Jose call all over again.
As we look, I mean, awful. He should already have a goal under his belt. You know what's funny is we had Lyles on Kreckman and Lindahl after that Utah game. Lyles was, just so I had no idea, he was sitting right next to Gabe Landeskog as he did that interview. And with us, Lyles doing the interview with us. And I actually was filling in that day. So I asked John about the offside call, not necessarily the Nichushkin didn't even touch the puck, but the players going off the ice, and related it to the San Jose series several years ago. And Landeskog, to the side of Lyles, said it was a BS call.
Love that.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. Yeah, we've gone over that so many times of, if you're going to make sure that the goal doesn't stand, what you also have to do is penalize the team that's changing for too many men. That's what you have to do.
And the fact that bit the same player again and took his
Yeah.
first regular season goal off the board. And you know Gabe wants it. And it's coming. It's gonna come. But I love tonight how he wasn't forcing it. He was making the smarter hockey plays, and it will come. And when it comes, I mean, we're all gonna jump out of our seats. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, and chances are it'll be a big goal. It's not going to be one that feels meaningless. The two one-timers that I mentioned in the third period that ended up going over his stick would have been massive goals to extend the lead, and to make it feel like a little bit less butthole clenchy at the end of this game, like it kind of did. And I'm not gonna get upset about that. Tampa Bay is a great hockey team. Like, you can make the argument that those are the two best puck possession teams in the NHL. I think Carolina, Florida, New Jersey all have something to say about that right now, but Tampa Bay is certainly in the top five, with those types of teams that are chasing Colorado in 5-on-5 puck possession. We just dominate. We have the puck the entire game. It was funny. I was talking to my brother earlier today, and he can get upset with the Avs for how many turnovers they have, and they are a turnover happy team. Like, don't get me wrong, it can get very frustrating to watch this team give up the puck. They gave it up 11 times tonight, and it felt like 4 or 5 of them were unforced errors. And I was trying to have the conversation. Yeah, they lead the league in turnovers, the Avalanche, by a healthy margin, but they also have the puck more than any other team in the NHL. And the second most turnover happy team in the league, you know who it is? It's the New Jersey Devils, who have the puck more than just about anyone in the NHL through 14 games this year. So I wouldn't let like big numbers scare you there. If you have the puck more often, you're going to give it up more often.
Exactly. Exactly. The more you have the puck, the more you're going to give it up, and I'll take the former of that, having the puck a lot. But you know what? You know what tonight was? It was just, and man, let me pull up the team stats. I don't know what the turnover number was. It didn't feel bad.
I've got
Giveaways.
14 giveaways for Tampa, 11 for Colorado.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah, not bad at all. I mean, Tampa gave the puck away 3 more times. I didn't notice a turnover issue necessarily with Colorado tonight. I thought tonight's game was really just one of those extremely sound, responsible team play games. They were just smart. They were responsible defensively. They knew how to pick each other up, how to get back and occupy open ice defensively, to pick up a teammate who was pushing forward. You know what's funny is, I think it really starts with this player who sets the tone in terms of how the Avs play that way, and that's Devon Taves. And he hasn't scored this season, and he was a -2 tonight, which is funny because goes to show the plus minus really is kind of a
It's a
dumb.
flawed stat. It is always a flawed stat.
It absolutely is. You know, Taves, and I noticed him multiple times tonight. Didn't have a point tonight. I think he's still stuck on 1 point on the season and hasn't scored. But I know he's got 3 points now. He's got 3 assists. That's picked up a little bit. Nonetheless, he sets that tone. He sets that tone defensively. Nichushkin sets that tone, as a defensive forward. And talk about the Avs penalty kill. I mean, excellent again tonight. And when they go and the Lightning go 0 for 3 on the power play, when the Avs go Nichushkin Lehkonen,
It's dangerous, man. They almost scored today.
and that's what you're doing in the playoffs. And a lot of times in the regular season, they'll go maybe Kelly Drury to start. Not in the playoffs. You're going to Nichushkin Lehkonen every damn time.
Yeah, that's a dangerous kill. They are very, very effective defensively, but they've got the offensive upside to break out 2-on-1s. You saw the backdoor feed that Nichushkin barely missed as they were killing a penalty today. The PK has been very good. And Tampa has a power play that should scare the living crap out of you. Braden Point and Victor Hedman and Nikita Kucherov, that is not a fun unit to have to go against. Even if you take out a Hall of Famer and Steven Stamkos like they did a couple of seasons ago, it's still very, very effective. If we look at the penalty kill over the past few games, the Avs have not given up a power play goal since the Carolina game when they lost 5-4 in a shootout.
That's incredible.
They're feeling it right now, man. Oh, sorry, did Vegas score? Oh, Vegas went 1 of 6. I apologize.
1 of 6. 1 of 6.
Vegas went 1 of 6. Then you go all the way back to before that Carolina game. Utah goes 1 of 2. You've played, what is it now, 14 games this season. You've only given up 4 power play goals on 39 opportunities against it. It's looking good right now. It's looking dangerous on the opposite side. I love that part. So as the power play hasn't been good, the PK has been great.
And you mentioned, and they could. Especially as we get to the back half of the season, final few weeks, as we get to the playoffs, they could put Landeskog out there. You're dead on about that.
I would absolutely love it.
And Landeskog's a great penalty killer. And I think Nichushkin's one of the best in the league. I think Lekkonen's one of the best in the league. Drury and Kelly are good. They're getting Logan O'Connor back this weekend, who is one of the best at that as well.
They're also supposed to get Sam Girard back here soon, and the guy who's taken most of Sam's minutes, even though he's not the same handedness, Sam Malinsky, man, that stretch pass that he makes to Ross Bolton today, are you kidding me? That's a one-man breakout. Short side scrum, skates across his defensive zone. Colton screams out of the defensive assignment, and he goes indirect off the wall and hands it off to Colton. Colton beats Vasilevsky to the post. A little bit lucky, obviously. Hits the post, and then off of Vazzy's right skate and back into the net. But, dude, that starts off with a one-man breakout in Malinsky.
It's an unbelievable pass. I mean, that goes to show that this is a kid. And I call him a kid because he's still young in the league, but, played a good clip in college. And, he's 27 years old, because he played a lot in college. What a pass. I mean, to know the angle off the boards, and that's on purpose, to hit Colton there, that is an elite pass. And Sam Malinsky, I talked about it on Saturday, Raj, the 2 players that to me were the most important, younger, and Malinsky's 27, he feels younger than he is, but the 2 players to me that it was most important that they develop and take a step this season, they have, and that's Sam Malinsky as a defenseman and Jack Drury as your 3C, and you've gotten it. You got both those players to take the necessary steps that were absolutely possible for them to take. And it was the medicine that the Avalanche needed.
Don't look now, Spring, as we take a quick look around the rest of the league. I think we've said as much as we can about this game. Solid game for the Avs. Good effort against a good team. It felt like it was, I wouldn't say playoff style, but it was 2 elite teams showing why they are on national television this early in the season. You get the 3-2 victory. Team looked good. Taves really solid defensively, despite being a -2. And
one final thing on this game. They go with Wedgewood tonight, who was good. He's very good.
He's been very good.
I was almost expecting Blackwood, but it appears, look, he was hurt, and maybe he's not at the peak of his game right now. At least that's the word. And I thought he was good. It looked like a guy making his first start of the season coming off injury. I thought he was good, not great against San Jose. Wedgewood's in rhythm and has been very good. They are, to me, like, this is an indication that they are slow playing Mackenzie Blackwood.
It also helps that you get a handful of days off before your next game, right? Like it's not like you're playing 2 days from now. You have time. It's a weird schedule this week coming off of like a couple of back-to-back games on the weekend and a couple of back-to-back games, 6 days before that. I can understand them going, all right, let's get Blackwood a touch in here, and then we essentially give him a week off after that game, or 5 days off to make sure that he's not taxing himself. I was fine with it. They trust Wedgewood. I don't want to play your backup too much at the beginning of the season, but it's working right now, man. I can't complain about it. I was saying, don't look now. Did you see what the Anaheim Ducks are doing? The Anaheim Ducks currently, they're the second best team in the Pacific Division.
I said they were my 8th seed in the West. They're exceeding that so far. Now it's a long season.
They scored 7
and some of this is the Panthers injuries, but yeah, man, look, I mean, Anaheim, they're building something.
Good young players. The Golden Knights get a 1-0 win, so they continue to stay atop the Pacific Division tonight. The Wild get a 3-2 overtime win. Did you see the goal that won it for the Wild against Nashville tonight?
I did see it. It's similar to that McKinnon goal the other night.
Except multiply it by 10.
Except multiply by, yeah. But, I saw a lot of people complaining about it. I think they got it right.
I think they got it right as well.
Because
the only thing I could say is it wasn't Soros playing in net for.
It was on and in. It must have been on and in.
Whoever was backing up for Nashville, maybe
it was on and
they gave up on the play. Maybe they gave up on the play, man.
But on and in is the one who knocks the net off.
Yep.
And that's the key. Just like the other night when it was Jeff Skinner of the Sharks who knocked the net off. And it's like, look, if your team is knocking your own net off, then the play needs to continue if we're in the middle of a rush. And I think that puck would have crossed that red line and gone. It was going in, had that net. I'm talking now about the Wild goal. Yeah. I know it's weird. I know it looks weird, but that was the right call.
Also, I hate to say it, the jerseys, their little throwback jerseys, Minnesota needs to go back to that colorway tomorrow. The gold looks so good. I don't know. Maybe it's just me being nostalgic because I think all these throwbacks have looked really awesome around the league. But I think that looks better than their current homes. Speaking of crazy goals, Leon Draisaitl scored a goal today from those of you who know Heat Daddy on Twitter from the Rockstar Zone, from the 50-07 zone. The fact that he decided to shoot from where he did, the power play goal that Draisaitl scores in the first period tonight against Dallas is ridiculous. He basically shoots it with his ass on the part of the boards where the goal line is painted vertically. We'll get back to it in a sec. D-Mac standing by at Ball Arena. D-Mac.
All right, guys. Just getting in here. Good to see you. Jared after the game said sluggish. They didn't have their legs. Wasn't impressed with the effort, including Cale Makar. He was lumped in with everybody else. So pretty quality win to get that against the Lightning, that's for sure, who had a 5-game winning streak. So they figured out a way. Talked to Ross Colton after the game, and he joked about not having many opportunities on breakaways and admitted he got, a little bit lucky on his goal. But, hey, we'll take the good luck. Also, Bednar said he had a talk with Mackenzie Blackwood earlier today. He said he could have easily started Blackwood, but he just doesn't feel like he's quite ready. They're hoping to have some more aggressive practices to get Blackwood sharp. So no, he's not going to go down to the Eagles again, but that was a big decision, whether to go Blackwood or Wedgewood tonight. And they just felt Wedgewood gave him a better chance, but he did say Blackwood would play plenty as, for example, a back-to-back this weekend. So the starting goaltender for the Avalanche, really? In all honesty, right now, it is Scott Wedgewood. with them straight up. And whether or not Blackwood can get into the type of playing shape he needs to, the Avalanche aren't going to sit around and just wait for that development at this point in the season. They're rolling with what works. So kind of a sluggish night, but a win anyways against the Lightning team that had won 5 straight. And we have a very anomaly here, guys. Tonight, it's the Lightning. Tomorrow, it's the Heat. So on back-to-back nights, we get the teams that the Avs and Nuggets beat for championships here in Denver. All right, back to you guys. That's the latest from Ball Arena.
Great vibes coming from D-Mac there.
Sluggish.
Is
Jared Bednar holding this team to an elite standard?
Well, I love that for him. I disagree. I didn't think maybe they looked sluggish in the third. I did not think they looked sluggish in the first and the second. So I disagree with that.
They outshot him 33-24. They won the faceoff battle by 1. Yeah, maybe in the third they went into a little bit of defense mode, but I did not think watching that game sluggish. I thought it was just a real clean, responsible game.
I think D-Mac's having a little bit of fun there with the starting goaltender nod. I don't believe he's trying to go after there's a starting goalie controversy here in Colorado. I do agree, though, that if Scott Wedgewood is playing like this, go ahead and allow him to continue to play. And if that allows Mackenzie Blackwood to be 110% when he comes back and it takes over as your full-time starter, that's okay. But by no means is Scott Wedgewood going to take over as the starter for this team if Mackenzie is completely and fully healthy and ready to go. But yeah, sure. If Mackenzie's not feeling it and doesn't want to come back yet, and you want to, give Blackie an extra couple of days rest before he sees Edmonton and the league's leading point scorer in Connor McDavid on Saturday, then be my guest, man. Ride Scott Wedgewood.
Yeah, I agree with that, with all of that you just said. And then the Ross Colton breakaway, another thing. Look, he's a former Lightning, and I mean, especially in the playoffs, Ross scored so many goals of that variety for Tampa. So for it to go against Tampa tonight, man. That's, and I'll just say that you use the word I used on social media. That's poetry. That's absolute poetry that Ross scored in that fashion. He was such a good, goal scorer, playoff goal scorer with breakaway goals like that for Tampa. So that's sweet, sweet irony right there. And then, hey, back to the Dallas Edmonton game. I mean, yeah, look, Draisaitl on that short right side is dangerous as all hell. Mikko Rantanen scored his 300th career goal tonight on the power play.
Dang.
And then scored 301 to get these Stars within 1. Heiskanen tied it up. Shootout we go. And Draisaitl did score in the shootout. McDavid and Nugent Hopkins did not. Jason Robertson scored. Mikko Rantanen did not score, and then Wyatt Johnston did. So 2-1 shootout win. Stars win 4-3 overall in overtime, but 2 goals for Mikko tonight. Look, man, and it's funny. You see Winnipeg. How fun it is funny to me. Winnipeg again. They're doing it again. They're 9-3-0. They got 18 points. They've won 3 in a row. Yay. And Dallas was a little sleepy. Now they're 7-3-3. Bro, and shout out to the Utah Mammoth. They're a solid team. We all know who the 2 best teams are in this division. We all know.
Rantanen, man. He now has the lead on Natchez. He's got a lead. So we're watching that all season long. Who's got the most points? He got a 2-point lead now.
Yeah, it's even I tweeted it the other day when Nate just signed the extension. But Mikko is a great player. He is. And it's just, it can come out of nowhere and just give it 3 games. Bam, bam, bam. Uh-oh. But the market went up. Inflation happened right after Mikko signed, and Nate just signs for $500,000 less. But you got Jack Drury too. And it gave the Avs a little more flexibility, not having to pay Mikko when they would have had to pay him. So hey, it's good for the NHL too. It really is, having Mikko with the Stars, and the Avs are damn good. So get ready, Avs Stars. It's a thing. It's not going anywhere.
Do you think that the news that came down yesterday that the 2027 Stadium Series will be headed to Jerry World and the Dallas Stars will be the hosting team there with an opponent to be decided? Is that going to be Dallas and Colorado?
I mean, if the NHL had any sense about them, that's what it would be. That's the rivalry. Like it's the Western Conference matchup. So yeah, look, Mikko's a great player. What happened. The context we provided, but it has created an incredible rivalry that I don't think there's one better in the NHL right now.
Yeah, it's you're hard pressed to find one that is that fierce. Toronto, Boston was close to that, but Boston's fallen off. Florida and Toronto is getting close to it, but there's not as much hatred. LA and Edmonton, you could say, is in the same vein, but like LA hasn't beaten Edmonton, although you can argue the same thing for the Avalanche, but the Avalanche have gotten to where Dallas wants to be at this point. I think there's no worse blood between two teams than Dallas and Colorado right now. They absolutely hate each other. I hope that's the matchup. The only thing that makes me think that it might not be the matchup is, do you push Utah in there? Because it's technically a new franchise and a new market. And if you're Bettman, do you want to show off your new pony in the stable?
I mean, there's a number of matchups you could go with, because I mean, I remember a few years ago, Dallas played that Stadium Series outdoor game, whatever it was, against Nashville, and Corey Perry got ejected 30 seconds into the game, and that was against Nashville. They're a Central Division team. You could put Bedard in the Blackhawks out there. You could put St. Louis, Minnesota in there. You could put fucking Winnipeg in there. It is clear there is no better rivalry right now than Colorado Dallas. It's not even close, actually.
All right, Spring, it's going to do it for us tonight, man. It's late here on a Tuesday night. Avs win 3-2. They continue to pace the entire NHL. 21 points, a regulation 3-2 victory over the Tampa Bay Lightning. We'll be off until Saturday night, back-to-back 8 p.m. games on the road in Edmonton and in Vancouver. We expect Mackenzie Blackwood to play at least one of those two games. I would assume he doesn't play both, but I hope he's going to play the one in Edmonton against Connor McDavid. So we'll talk to you guys late on Saturday night. For Spring, I'm Raj. Avs win. See you guys this weekend.